I found myself not 100% in love with Disney Star Wars. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't all bad.
What'd you do?
I bypassed the compressor.
Now, I'm exaggerating a bit here, but the sequels definitely did not hit the mark the fandom was expecting. Compound that with pretty much anything Lucasfilm has done lately, and you might think Star Wars is dead. But remember when Legends was all we had for new content? Star Wars wasn't dead then, it was just dormant. And while Disney has done its very best to kill the franchise, the Star Wars story has always been bigger than Disney, than Lucasfilm, and bigger than even George Lucas. Since the beginning, fans have always been the ones to make Star Wars what it is. And now it's time for us to take that power back. And that's where things like Legends and passion projects from real fans comes into play. Enter PRISMStories on YouTube. They created a reimagining of what the sequel trilogy movies could have been like. And they incorporated the use of AI tech to help write the story and to create the storyboard-like imagery you're seeing here. And what's great about the retelling is that the original trilogy characters are treated in a way that honors the legacy that George Lucas left. For instance, Luke is actively leading the new Jedi Academy. Leia is a prominent senator, and Han is a decorated war hero. He's heading up the New Republic Starfighter Academy. And Prism reuses the same new characters that Disney has created, but they're totally reimagined. Their roles are now a so much better fit. And as the story progresses, you begin to see a much smoother baton pass from the original characters to these new ones. For instance, Ben Solo is just that. He's not Kylo Ren. He's a Jedi Academy graduate, taught of course under Luke. Poe Dameron is one of Han's brightest and closest students. And General Hux, he's the leader of the old Empire Remnant. And he's trying to join the old Empire Remnant into the New Republic government. These few changes already make this a better Star Wars story than what Disney offered us. Not to mention, Episode 7 isn't a complete and total ripoff from Episode 4.
On one of the videos, there was a comment made by SSJ Doob. It says, "I'm literally crying and I can't stop. It's healing for an emotional wound that Disney made in my soul. I know it's weird to say that about a movie franchise, but it was a major part of my childhood. To have that spit upon by Disney was very painful in ways that I don't think I understand. To see my childhood heroes given the honor they deserve means the world to me. Words cannot express how grateful I am for what you have created."
Spoiler alert, no, there are no desert planets in at least Episode 7. We start by revisiting places like Coruscant, the center for the government, Yavin 4, where the Jedi Academy is, and we get to see a new place, Eriadu, which is an Outer Rim center for trade. As the story progresses, you'll notice that there's no overt fan service. The tone of the story overall is serious, but there are a few times that made me smile. And it's that kind of humor that still fits the Star Wars motif. It reminded me of when the Falcon is parked inside that space slug, the asteroid worm.
Should help if I got out and pushed.
Captain Soda, good morning.
The retelling of Episode 7 is only 25 minutes long. And truthfully, the story on that one feels a bit rushed. But compare that to Episode 8 and 9 Prism did, that are both over 45 minutes long, the pacing is much better on those ones. When you go ahead and watch these, you might notice there isn't an opening crawl for Episode 7. But this gets rectified for Episodes 8 and 9. All of the images shown in the series, as you can see, are generated by AI. And truthfully, some of the pictures are better than others. But you definitely get a feel of what's going on, and you can easily visualize what this might look like on film. The best way I can describe this storytelling format is calling it a storyboard plus, because you're getting the images, narration, as well as scene dialogue and, of course, a music backdrop to it all. Let me know in the comments if there's a better term that fits this kind of media, but I digress. When you watch these, if you expand the description on YouTube, every song that's played has a link to the original. Some of it is pulled directly from the films, others seem to be fan-made scores. Either way, the music doesn't pull you out of the story, unlike that recent Ahsoka episode. That being said, I do have a couple of nitpicks about this story and the storytelling format. The AI narrator doesn't get the inflection right all the time for the narration or the dialogue. Plus, some of the language used isn't particularly Star Wars, like Han's usage of bullshit. This wasn't enough to deter me, and I prefer this over what the House of Mouse has offered us, but the overall message and story fits well within the tone of the original trilogy. It covers the complexity of family relationships.
Well, I guess you don't know everything about women yet.
Not passing judgment too quickly, and that the struggle between liberty and tyranny is ever constant.
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
I enjoyed this story and format and the art well enough in episode 7 to go ahead and watch episodes 8 and 9. So much so that I watched them directly after I watched episode 7. And let me tell you, 8 and 9 are so much better. Prism's iteration of this new sequel trilogy is exceptional, especially compared to what we got from Disney. But to be honest, that bar was set pretty low to begin with. With AI assisting in the writing of this and future Prism Star Wars projects, it's clear to see why WGA was fighting so adamantly against the use of AI in their recent strike. Prism has a new video out that talks about the schedule and the plan that they have moving forward for new Star Wars projects. So it's not over, it's not done with. They're going to fill in the gaps of Old Republic era, as well as some side stories from various eras pre and post Battle of Yavin. Go ahead and give them a watch. The links are in the description of this video. If you made it this far in the video, I just want to thank you for watching. And if you found this at all intriguing or entertaining or otherwise pleasant, please go ahead and leave me a like and consider subscribing. It helps me a lot, and I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.